Hey, come in. I'm glad you're here. I don't know what led you to this video today, but I want to speak to that quiet part of you that's been wondering, why does it feel like the more I chase success, the more alone I become? You're not the only one. That question has echoed through the minds of people who have everything, yet still find themselves sitting at dinner tables with no one to talk to, checking phones that never ring for joy, only for obligation. And I want to take you into that truth today, not to shame you, not to scare you, but to free you. See, there's a myth we've all been sold, maybe since childhood, that once you hit that number in your bank account, buy that car, live in that neighborhood, the emptiness will vanish. You'll be whole. People will love you. You'll finally be enough. But it's a myth, so seductive, so shiny, and I fell for it too. I remember the first time I sat in a first-class lounge, sipping something expensive, looking around at polished watches in perfect posture, and I felt nothing. No joy, no arrival, just a quiet sense that I had outrun the people I used to laugh with, that maybe in building a tower, I had sealed myself inside it. Wealth promises access, but often delivers distance. You get invited to more rooms, but trust fewer people inside them. You get praised more publicly, but questioned more privately. Over time, you realize that money is not a connector. It's a filter. A lot of people don't talk about this because it doesn't fit the narrative. It's easier to show the yacht than to admit you cried on it. Easier to post the 5-star dinner than to confess you didn't have anyone to share dessert with. I've sat across too many wealthy people, quietly breaking down, afraid to tell their own families how lost they feel. The truth is, the higher you climb the ladder, the more the air changes. People stop telling you the truth. Conversations get guarded. Friendships become transactional. Unless you're vigilant, emotionally honest, and deeply intentional, you'll wake up and realize you're not rich. You're just removed, isolated. Not because you wanted to be, but because somewhere along the way, you mistook acquisition for affection and status for connection. And if you're feeling that now, even if you're not rich yet, but success is starting to separate you from who you used to be, this message is especially for you. Because this channel isn't about flexing. It's about freeing. It's about long-term positioning, financial honesty, and freedom through truth. And the truth is, wealth, unmanaged, isolates. Not because it's evil, but because it changes your ecosystem. When you earn more, your problems change. When your problems change, your conversations change. And when your conversations change, so do your relationships. It's subtle, but you'll feel it. The friend who used to joke with you now watches their words. The cousin who always called for a laugh now only calls when they need a loan. You'll hear, "You've changed" more often. Sometimes you have. Sometimes they have. And the biggest shift? It's internal. Because even if you wanted to let your guard down, you're not sure who wants you or who wants what you have. And so you armor up. You show less. You share less. You become a bit harder to read. And eventually, even you don't recognize your own reflection. You tell yourself, "I'm doing this for freedom." But what kind of freedom costs you your community? What kind of success can't survive vulnerability? Let me tell you a story, a real one, name changed. Victor was a tech founder who sold his company for an eye-watering sum before his 35th birthday. The media adored him, and his friends envied him. He bought a modern house with glass walls and silence for days. But when I met him years later, he admitted something that stopped me cold. He said, "I haven't had a real conversation in 3 years. I don't even know if I'm likable anymore." That's the power of isolation. Not that you don't have people around you, but that you're never quite sure if you're still human to them. He started giving gifts instead of presents, saying, "Let's catch up," instead of actually catching up. And underneath the millions, he was starving for authenticity. That story isn't rare. It's just rarely told. So if you're building wealth, good. Keep going. But don't lose your roots while chasing your wings. Stay close to the people who knew you before the glow-up. Create relationships that can survive silence and success alike. Because if your wealth grows faster than your character, you'll find yourself rich and resentful. And if your success costs you your ability to be known, you didn't win. You just disappeared behind your image. Another man I met, James, grew up with very little. His mother used to pack his lunch with handwritten notes when she couldn't afford snacks. Just so he'd feel seen, she once told me. James eventually made it. Big money. But at his father's funeral, he looked around and realized he'd flown in solo. Private jet, sure, but no one to stand beside him. He said something I'll never forget. What's the point of arriving if no one's clapping for you anymore? It's not about being dramatic. It's about being honest. We were not built for wealth. We were built for connection. And wealth is only good when it serves connection, when it empowers truth, not replaces it. On this channel, we dive into financial honesty, because honesty is the only wealth that compounds in all seasons. It protects your peace, attracts real allies, and repels opportunists. It keeps your soul intact while your portfolio grows. So today, I urge you to build with balance. When you level up, ask, who's still around and why? When you spend, ask, is this to impress or to invest in joy? And when you feel alone, don't just scroll. Call someone. Share something uncurated. Be human on purpose. You might be surprised how many people were waiting for permission to be real too. If you've made it this far, thank you for caring, for daring to be honest in a world that rewards illusion. If you feel seen here, you're not alone. You're part of a group done with performative wealth, hungry for honest success. And that's what this channel is about. Freedom through truth, power through presence, wealth as character, not just currency. Before you click away, ask, what wealth do I want to build? Who will I be once I have it? That answer might just change everything. I'll see you in the next one. Stay clear, stay kind, stay connected.